there.
Yes. Okay.
General.
Marie Jackson. Wherever the mic needs to be, wherever you want it to be.
Wherever you're in
Well,
charge.
yeah. Yeah. Is that all right for you?
Oh, I know. Why don't you stand back there? Serge, when I speak, would you write a color? When I talk, will you write a color? When I have to talk, you come up here and say, John.
Well, hello, my dear.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm here. Still being seen. You like my Pomeranian?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, it does that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's still European brown bear, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be. It's probably an endangered species and somebody's going to spray paint me, but that's okay. I know, I should be allowed out. I'm not allowed. There's no filters. Once I hit 70, it's over with. You know, what are you going to do? Yeah, good to see you.
Yes, hey guys.
Bear? No, it's not. Where's my hanging down? Where's my yarmulke's still there? Okay. I got my yarmulke. You know? Or better double. Why not? Hey, looks like a Connecticut. Welcome. Very good. Welcome. How's everything?
Talk to me about today. Welcome. Today not being there, really wanted to be there.
Thanks for cooperating with us on This is the tower.
Oh, great.
So the scaffolding's on the outside, and actually it's like a Gazebo.
I actually feel like, well, I've been up before. Oh, the beach? Yes. She's her highness in Washington. We're not hanging anymore, right? The scaffolding's on.
Yeah. 90. And somebody said to me from the group,
You are a local celebrity, so it would seem to me you need to. It's a match-made town.
They said, how come this down here? Yeah, a little bit. I said, I can stay here. That's how
I saw pictures. I called up Tom Hughes there, and that's yes, it's a real thing.
what generation?
It's supposed to be so. Somebody has to.
got a cute couple in our building, and they have the villa? No, we're in the town.
I recognize you there. You work there.
Well, that's George Washington on the right, huh?
Oh, yeah?
Wow, looks like him too.
Sure, you know my dad.
Good.
I used to be on the board hour now with those guys.
Put it on the Facebook or something?
YouTube.
When I was a kid, I cut the grass on the villa side. My brother cut the grass on your side, through all the apple orchards.
I've never encountered
Spent a lot of years on that was right from Massachusetts.
I gotta talk to General Washington.
They wouldn't allow equipment into the cemetery. Three of us took turns.
I used to walk around there all the time.
Keep your powder dry.
Yes.
I don't have any powder.
Good advice. Always.
Yeah, you're okay.
Great.
That put the pressure on me.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, just fine, thanks.
No political shit here. How you doing?
We're doing just fine, thank you.
Are you videoing or?
Yes.
Oh, did you catch that?
Of course, I catch everything.
You know I love you, little kid.
Oh, I'm going to hold you to that.
You're the only gem I know with a sense of humor.
Sense of humor is very important.
Are you a comrade in arms?
I parked up there,
Yeah, I saw it. That's fine.
okay, because I did it so I could turn. I turned around. And I saw Selig was getting his
Yeah, he's doing
presentation.
good.
Thanks for doing this, Joe.
How are you?
Oh, just fine, thank you.
White hair. They all go, oh God. They don't expect it. Although somebody's going to speak you fine. Okay, what's our time? What's our time? And bring my pocket watch.
No.
Hey, Jeannie, how are you?
Doing good, Debbie. How about you?
Hello, how are you?
I swear it was.
You know, Washington comes to these events often as the reenactor, but he doesn't speak. I think that's weird.
I think that's okay. You should read some speeches.
Yeah, you just make up stuff, really. I mean, I would, but of course that's me.
Well,
Because if I was in Commander-in-Chief, at least for a day, and pretend, I would delegate the armed forces to do something. You know, like,
use your powers, but use them wisely.
well, I was thinking like go to Disneyland. You know,
Oh, dear.
what would you do? Well, I don't know. Take
It's
this thing.
photo op time. Pay attention.
Where's my Where's your guard?
That's a commanding voice.
It is.
No, but this is Irish.
I don't like it.
No British. We're French.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Ready? Sure. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Vive la France, great America!
Keep the mayor in here. Yeah, I know. A lot of people get that, but we're Irish troops in French service. Come on, right in the middle.
Maybe he's supposed to be Rochambeau.
I know.
Oh, he's supposed to be Rochambeau.
Sure, it's not British.
No, it isn't British.
One way or the other. Four of us, right?
16.
I don't know.
Hello.
Free water.
I don't know.
Well, I remind people.
Hey, Dad, get out of the way.
Vive la France, vive America!
Vive le roi.
Vive le roi.
Face the camera.
Hello.
Face the camera or okay. Your Excellency. Eyes front. Face the camera.
Same thing with Lincoln. It goes down the street, nobody cheers.
Such a pity.
One more for me. One more for me.
Take a few pounds off me too while you're at it.
He said the camera makes it look like you have 10 pounds on you. So I said the last picture I saw looked like 4 cameras.
Look like what?
Camera puts on 10 pounds. Last time I saw you, it looks like it was 4 cameras. Oh, weight joke.
That's good. 4 cameras. Yeah, I get it. You aren't recording now, right?
Of course.
Well, you are.
Yes.
Oh, I better say something sensible then. Too late now, right?
Well, you're always sensible.
Okay, it's 1 o'clock.
Hurry up and wait. I hear that's often the case with the Army.
No, because the Juneteenth is coming through at 2.
Uh-huh.
The program at the museum at 2.
Did you land by hope? Yes, that's right.
Why does this look like a dirty gun?
Well, I'd rather look at you than those people.
Very pretty criminals as they fight. The swishing isn't working. It's not. For you, it doesn't work. Thank you for being here, Sexy.
Okay, here we go.
Really loyal blacksmith. Ever vigilant for work.
Joe, you with us?
I'm here now.
All right, Joe. Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone to beautiful downtown Peekskill and our world famous or county famous Division Street, home of international cuisine. Any type of food you like from any ethnic background, we have it right here in downtown Peekskill. Peekskill is this celebration today, or this event. Peekskill was honored to be chosen by the National Park Service as one of only 15 sites in New York State to receive 2 panels identifying a significant site along the Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail. At this time, before we get started, I would like to recognize some of our local officials. Former mayor and current county legislator, the great John Testa.
Hey, John.
Governor Andrew Cuomo is here today, represented by Tom Scaglione of his office. I want to thank the governor for all he does for the city of Peekskill, and thank him for making sure that he was represented. Janet Lee Burnett from the national chairperson of the Washington-Rochambeau Historic Route Association. I want to welcome Janet to Peekskill. Sally DeBarcaza, recording secretary for the National Board. Sally here. Hi, Sally. How are you? Good. Blanche Honeywell, corresponding secretary of the National Board. Executive Committee is here. I met you earlier. Welcome to Peekskill. Paul Kenny, National Park Service, Trail Manager. Robert Selly, National Park Service, Dr. Robert Selly, National Park Service, Trail Historian. Scott Keller for the Hudson River Valley Gateway National Trail.
Greenway Hip Hip Huzzah.
Hip Hip Huzzah. We have Deb Malone for the Executive Director of the Hudson Valley Gateway Chamber of Commerce. Right. We have Councilman Joe Torres here from the City of Peekskill, my great Deputy Mayor. How you doing, Joe? Joe, thank you for always being there for me every time I need you. We have Councilwoman Kathy Talbot here from the City of Peekskill. We have our New York State Assemblywoman, Sandy Gale. Sandy, I didn't see you. Sandy's a great friend of Peekskill. She's always here for Peekskill, and we appreciate that. We have our Peekskill City Historian. This is a great day for him anytime we get national recognition, and that's Frank Godera. We have Doug Lickard from the Peekskill City School Board here, former member. We have attorney Robert Sullivan here today, great champion of homeowners and condo association. Okay, and who else? We have John Curran here from the Peekskill Museum.
Howdy.
John, good to see you. We have the mayor's 2017 nominee to be the Senior Citizen of the Year for Westchester County, Jenny George Cummings. I'm sure the county executive will accept my nomination.
I certainly hope so. Thank you.
Okay, what am I missing? I always hate to do this because I miss everybody. And one thing that Peekskill has been on the move. One more. My mother's here. Kenneth Stevens is here. He's from the National Society, Sons of the American Revolution. And you know that Peekskill has been on the move the last several years. We've received awards for our riverfront, awards for different projects. We have over almost $500 million under construction or in the planning stage right now. And that's a great change from where we were several years ago. And none of that could be possible without our great Deputy of Planning and Development, Gene Friedman. It makes me look good. It's all because of you, so I thank you. All right, who did I miss here? So that's all I have to say. Those are my remarks. I want to introduce our next speaker, Colonel and Dr. Jim Johnson, military historian for the Hudson River Valley.
Come behind you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to echo the thanks that you gave to Gene, because Gene Friedman is the one that made this happen based on a little conversation that John Curran and I had. So I really appreciate what was happening with the museum and the city to make this possible with your presence here today, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. And with His Excellency here behind you, you know that we really are in the spotlight, and so it's a great pleasure to have General Washington with us here today.
Yay, General!
So we have General George Washington. We have soldiers behind us representing the 6th Connecticut Regiment, the 5th New York Regiment, and those of us standing here in red uniforms. Would you like to tell them who we are, sir?
I know, you think we're Brits. We're not. We are the 90th Regiment in the French line. We are Dillon's Irish Regiment in French service. We are the Wild Geese. And as such, we're part of Rochambeau's forces. There's one of us buried at Yorktown.
So,
I don't know what the rest of us were doing, but it's okay. But anyway.
So King Louis XVI wanted a red wall to stick it in the eye of the English king. So we're that red wall wearing red uniforms in service of the French. So we're really pleased to have a French sort of presence here today, since we're honoring a route that was taken by General Washington's troops as well as Rochambeau's French soldiers. Another thing that struck me here is that we're the home of the yellow brick road, sir. Somewhere here in this fair city, there are some yellow bricks from an original road here in Peekskill that probably inspired Mr. Baum when he did The Wizard of Oz. John, am I close?
I would generally agree with that myself.
Thank you, John. John,
The other guy more. Did a lot of research.
Oh well, so much.
So if I find a yellow brick tonight, can I show it to you?
Oh, you're dealing with a historian there, guys.
So whether or not there was a yellow brick road here or not, we're here to add the Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail to your trail system. And we're really pleased that you put up these wayside exhibits, and we thought that we really needed to shine the spotlight on them to give some attention to how important Peekskill was in 1782. So I'd like to give you a little bit of background. We're pleased that Janet is with us and that we're all representing the National Park Service here. You've heard everybody else, but you also might look around and see there are some W3R representatives here. Serge Gabrielle from Connecticut, Sally's from New Jersey, New York. So we've got a real, Blanchard, you Pennsylvania?
No, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. So we have a real representation here in this route which goes through 9 states in the District of Columbia. So we're really pleased to have that kind of representation. This all started in Scott Keller's jurisdiction and Elise Goldberg's headquarters. She is the site manager at Washington's headquarters in Newburgh. And we had a meeting there in December of 1999 under the auspices of the National Heritage Area, which Scott Keller now oversees, to start this Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail. We came up with that name because it was a compromise. We decided that a lot of people had forgotten about their American Revolutionary heritage, and if we said Washington, maybe they would recognize it, but Rochambeau, no way. So we had to at least add the revolutionary in there to make sure everybody understood what period of time we were talking about. We're really pleased that this became a project of the National Park Service. I'll tell you how that happened. And this trail has not only local, but national and international significance. In fact, the historian, Dr. Seelig, is German. And there was a regiment, DuPont, which was German. It was part of Rochambeau's forces, and Bob sometimes dresses up as a member of DuPont, or Luzon, the Legion as well. So we represent everything from Massachusetts to the District of Columbia in terms of the march that was done in 1781, and Massachusetts gets added in 1782 because that's when the French left for the Caribbean from Boston. So that's how Massachusetts gets involved. And this was some epic march. We had 4 reenactors that marched this 600 miles. And that was quite a trip. And one of the problems is, of course, you're dealing with interstate highways, all kinds of things that have developed since then. So we've actually seen people walk this trail for the 225th anniversary of the American Revolution. The French Expeditionary Force under the Rochambeau had 38 camps on the way down to Virginia and 54 camps on the return. And so this was a big deal. This was when Washington and Rochambeau decided to take on Lord Cornwallis that led to the great victory at Yorktown. So this is really an important event that you're marking here, sir, with these signs. General Rochambeau would then come back in 1782, and the French would re-enter New York State on the 13th of September. They crossed the Hudson. We reenacted that twice as part of the 225th anniversary of the American Revolution. Joe and I getting rowed across, looking like this.
Yes.
They marched through Plank, where there are panels already there marking this route. The American Army camped there. If you come to the presentation, Dr. Seelig has some slides that show how the American troops are arranged. And they rested here in Peekskill from the 17th of September till the 23rd of September, 1782. So the French were a real presence here.
Still talking about it.
Yeah, they are. I saw several people on the walk there. So here's how all this trail thing started. Dr. Jacques Bossier called me and said, we've got to have a meeting. We've got to recognize how much the French contributed to our independence. is that people have lost sight of how important the French role was. So we gathered 43 delegates, including the National Park Service, organizations like the SAR, DAR, representatives from New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, in Elise's building up at Washington's headquarters, and that's how we got started. We came up with a name as cumbersome as it is. That's why you will hear us call it W3R. You'll hear Paul call it WARO, W-A-R-O, because it's a real mouthful. So we have ways to try and say this more shortly, in a shorter way. So we were going to try to get congressional recognition of this effort. In less than a year, with the help of Congressman John Larson of the 1st District of Connecticut, Maurice Henchy of New York, President Bill Clinton on 9 November 2000 signed Public Law 106473, the W3R National Heritage Act of 2000. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton designated the W3R a Millennium Trail in November of 2000. As a result of the legislation, the National Park Service initiated a study so that the Secretary of Interior could make a recommendation to Congress about what to do. So Dr. Bossier formed the National W3R Association to spearhead this effort, and he was its first chair. Not only did the federal government get behind this project, but New York State and the Florence Gould Foundation joined in. New York State designated this a Revolutionary War Heritage Trail. The Gould Foundation contributed funding for a historical study of the Washington-Rochambeau route in New York, which was completed by Dr. Seeley. You'll see the product of some of his work later. An archaeological survey was done in 2005, and the preservation of the Odell House, the headquarters of General Rochambeau in Hartsdale, was funded. U.S. and New York State Departments of Transportation allocated almost $300,000 to the National Heritage Area to mark and to interpret W3R New York through Westchester, Orange, and Rockland counties. And I'd like to tip my hat once again to the National Heritage Area. Scott's predecessor, Mark Castiglione, did an amazing thing. He was able to get funding transferred from the U.S. Department of Transportation to the National Park Service, for which he probably should be knighted. Guy was all up front. Is that called a MIPper? I forget exactly what that is. Based on the National Park Service's study and under the leadership of New York Congressman Maurice Henchy, Senator Hillary Clinton, the W3R National Historic Trail Designation Act passed Congress, and President Barack Obama signed the bill into law on the 30th of March 2009. Paul Kenny is the superintendent, now manages the National Historic Trail, and the National Park Service's Harper's Ferry Center supervised the design and the production of the signs that you're going to see unveiled here in just a minute. As you heard, 15 sites here in New York, and we've done pretty well, but we still have a few more to do. Friends of Fishkill Supply Depot and Fishkill Historical Society dedicated panels at Van Wyck House in September 2015. Town of Cortland, and you were there, sir. The town of Cortland dedicated the signs at Kings Ferry for Plank and Old St. Peter's Church in Van Cortland in November 2015, and then we got more done over time. Washington's headquarters in Newburgh, Stony Point Battlefield, the Odell House, White Plains, Yorktown Heights and FDR State Park, North Salem, and Bedford. So those are the ones that have been done so far, so we're really pleased to have you unveil these here today, Mr. Mayor, as part of this. So, what this shows to me, with him standing next to me, is that the spirit of General Washington and General Rochambeau and their soldiers live today here in Peekskill to show us what it took to make this great country what it is today. They were there at the birthing, and we're here to reap all the rewards of what they did. So I'd like to, with my distinguished colleague here helping me, we need to have a hip hip huzzah. I'd like for that to be to the late Dr. Jacques Bossier, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, but we should think about him and all the efforts that were done as a part of this. May we give a hip hip huzzah to
3 cheers! Hip hip! Huzzah! I can't hear you! Hip hip! Huzzah! I still can't hear you! Hip hip! Huzzah!
Thank you very much.
What do you say?
Hip hip huzzah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Colonel Johnson. Those were very inspiring words, and I really appreciate you initiating. It was really from Colonel Johnson that initiated this whole event today, and it's very well deserved. And we appreciate the troops being here. This really brings it to life for us, so it's a great day for Peekskill. Next, I'd like to invite up to speak Frank Adair, a city historian, to say a few words about Peekskill's role. Thank you.
Let me just give you a brief rundown about why it was so important for Peekskill in this Revolutionary War. But when the British came over and attacked New York City, Long Island, successful campaign, Washington's underway. The second phase the following year would be to take possession of the Hudson River. Colonies and a half game over, never ever happens. So when they finally, Washington gets France, one of her greatest allies, to get involved, the original plan was actually to take on the greatest powerful navy in the world, which was taking over the New York port. France knew this would be suicide, it would be a long drawn out battle, and that's where diversion becomes known. I can't tell you how much I was so proud of these blacks, I'm so proud of all these people involved. I'm sure the mayor agrees with me. Thank you to all these groups, Colonel Johnson, I did in person, for keeping this so current. We forgot about our history. Thank you. I don't know, do we have a French cuisine? We said every... Okay, we do. We even have a French cuisine.
There's French fries.
Someone said
At the quiet man.
not French?
So I thank you. I hope you enjoy your stay here in Peekskill, and I can't wait to see the plaques. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have an official welcoming plaque that will be on display at the city of Peekskill for a long time.
Next, I'd like to invite up County Legislator John Testis to say a few words. Thank you.
Comrades in arms here, many of you don't know I've been doing this with these guys for 40+ years. This is really close to my heart to see Peekskill continually be recognized for its historical significance, especially on the national level. The National Park Service was here in 2011 to commemorate 150th journey of then-elect President Lincoln to stop in Peekskill. Let's go into a different era, but it's very, very important, and it comes on the heels of, as Mayor Catalina knows, because he was part of it, started 10 years ago and even got better recently, the preservation of over 50 acres of the original Fort Hill site, where many of these soldiers stayed and were part of the encampment here. So this is a very important area for the development of the country, and have it as national recognition is significant and appropriate. So thank you to all involved for this, Colonel Johnson and everyone else who has spearheaded this, and I'm very, very proud to be here today. Thanks.
And finally, I'd like to invite up Colonel Gabriel. He's one of the founders of W3R.
Good morning, everyone. I'm representing the French soldiers participated in the American Revolution. There were 44,000 of them that came to America. The first out of Rochambeau, where they landed in Boston, and then they were free. But below the ground, came to Yorktown and seized the base of the British evacuate and brought longbows of General Cornwallis on 19 October 1781. I am proud to be born in France and served in the French army, occupied in the German occupation, and have participated in war
crafted after I came to this country. 44,000 Frenchmen were part of the American Revolution. And 2,112 were recognized as dead along the road from Boston all the way to Virginia. And they are graves all along the way, finally to go to Virginia. You will see it is a large monument showing all the Frenchmen who participated in the American Revolution. So, French people are proud of having helped the American gaining independence. Thank you very much.
I wanted to alert you to what we're going to do. And I see one of the support group of our 4 marchers who made the 600-mile march.
685.
685. 685.
Great to be here. This is wonderful.
Thank you for representing us again.
Colonel, why did she does have a mustard?
She made them march, though. There's no problem with her getting them down the road. I'd like to acknowledge Scott Keller's contribution. The reenactors that you see here today were funded by a grant from the Hudson River Valley National Heritage Area. So, Scott, thank you for all your support of history. So we're going to fire a feu de joie, firing of joy. So you'll hear us go either left to right or right to left, and then we'll fire a full volley at the end. And so we'll do that, Mr. Mayor, when you and Janet and Paul, sir, whoever else you would like to help you unveil these, as soon as they're unveiled, we'll fire the feu de joie. I think, Paul, you should be here. Mr. Mayor, you're in charge. So.
Never gets too late.
Sandy, John, Sandy, you should be here.
Thank you.
I'm going to get out of the way going that way.
Ready? Shoulder fire locks.
2, 3.
Make ready. To the right. Present. Fire.
Marilyn, did you get a photo?
Right. Ready. Present. Fire. Company Valley. Make ready. Fire. Shoulder, fire lock. To the right about face. Present. Hard. Shoulder your fire locks. Order your fire locks.
Lieutenant! 3 cheers for W3R and the city of Peekskill. Hip, hip! Huzzah! Hip, hip! Huzzah!
John, do you want to invite people to the museum? Do you want me to do that? 124.